Hey you guys, so this video is going to go over different bench setups and why you would want to set up that way, and then I will also include a few tips while you are benching. So enjoy the video. Okay, so our first video here is of DJ. He is a member and intern at Strength Union. So he first lays down on the bench, gets his hands set, and then he uses his feet up on the bench to really drill his traps down into the bench and getting those shoulder blades nice and tight. And then right before he brings the bar down to his chest, you could see that he braces into his belt, thinking like a power belly, or bringing the belly up as close to the bar as you can to decrease your range of motion. Another thing that DJ did really well in his bench is that he used his leg drive as he was driving the bar back up. And when he was doing so, he was in a way pushing himself back like into the spotter, so back on the bench, versus driving straight up, which that would bring your butt up off the bench. Okay, so our next bench video is going to be Brandon, who is also a member at Strength Union. He is one of my dancing partners, but as you can see, he lays down on the bench, scoots himself down, gets his shoulder blades tight, and then kind of shimmies his butt closer to the shoulder blades. And then as he is bringing the bar down to his chest, he has that power belly. You can also see that he is actively squeezing his glutes to help avoid the butt from coming off the bench. The next video is of yours truly, and I wanted to go over why one would want to wear a belt while benching. Some people find it a little strange because, like, with squats and deadlifts, it's pretty self-explanatory, but for bench, I like to wear a belt because it gives me a cue to push into to create that power belly. And why does someone want to create a power belly? Well, it braces and keeps everything nice and stable, but then it also decreases your range of motion. A quote-unquote powerlifting bench, or trying to build your 1 rep max, having less range of motion allows you to generally bench more. And now let's go ahead and get into my setup. So as you saw, I brought myself all the way back and then shimmied my butt and shoulder blades as close together as possible. And then from there, I am able to lift the bar, squeezing the glutes, making my power belly, and then driving up. As I'm using my leg drive, I'm thinking to drive myself back into the rack. Here we have Tony. He starts lower on the bench and then slides himself into position, getting the shoulder blades tight, the glutes engaged. He creates that power belly, and then from this angle you can really see his leg drive, and he's really pushing back into the rack. And now we have Q. She is an intern and member at Strength Union, and she is actually using the bench to help get herself into position, getting her shoulder blades and traps nice and tight and pinned to the bench, and moving them closer to her butt, creating a small arch. A little tip while you are benching, especially when you have more than just 1 rep, you want to really keep your back tight. A way to do that is to think like you are rowing the bar down to you versus just letting it kind of fall and gravity take over. A cue that I like is to think about bending the bar, or like squeezing the bar with your pinkies. So here we have Sean Doyle, and he, like everyone else, is getting into a tight position, pinning those shoulder blades together and down, and he is demonstrating perfectly how to row the bar down to you. So I've mentioned how all of these lifters are getting themselves into a position where they are nice and tight and bringing the shoulder blades together and down. Now, why is that important? So you want to be nice and tight because that will generally mean that you are utilizing muscle recruitment, meaning you're using as many muscles as you can to lift as much weight as you can. And then you want to bring the shoulder blades together and down towards your butt because that will put your shoulders in a safe position. A lot of times you will see when people do not pull the shoulder blades together and down, then as they're benching, their shoulders will round forward. And that's just putting a lot of strain and stress on their shoulders. So to be able to bench in the most optimal way and also the most safe way, make sure that you are getting in a good tight position and bringing those shoulder blades together and down.